welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 times Family Guy characters went beast mode.
What the hell happened to you?
I fell down the stairs.
Oh, you should be more careful.
For this list, we'll be going over some of the most savage moments on this adult animated comedy. While a lot of these scenes involve fights or violence, not all violence is physical. If there's a brutal Family Guy moment that has you feeling beastly because we forgot it, unleash your picks in the comments. Number 10. Lois's bar fight. When New Yorkers invade Quahog in search of beautiful foliage, the town's residents quickly become tired of these leafers. Given that Lois has been taking taijutsu classes, Peter sees an easy solution to the problem. Inviting her to the Drunken Clam, he proceeds to insult the New Yorkers in spectacularly uncreative ways.
Jets suck, Yankees suck, Knicks suck.
This prompts Lois to step in to defend him. The double act of Peter's epithets and Lois's rapid-fire takedowns makes for a funny and exciting scene. Lois doesn't stop at the New Yorkers either. She even sends General Zod and his cronies packing back to the Phantom Zone. Maybe they should have kneeled before Lois.
That's right.
Number 9. Brian vs. Quagmire. While the Griffin family dog and their perverted neighbor have thrown down several times, we'll be discussing their bout that results from an unexpected source, a cat cafe. After Quagmire opens a feline enthusiast establishment right next to Brian's favorite bar, the dog makes it his mission to get it closed down. Unfortunately, he also ends up losing his bar in the process. Quagmire finds himself unable to care for all the cats and resorts to drastic measures.
Okay, who's ready for some breakfast? Oh crap, another one died.
During his impromptu funeral for them, Brian passing by leads to both of them coming to blows. Quagmire pulls a ninja move, while Brian unleashes his inner dog in a hilarious way.
You thirsty, boy?
However, Brian getting hit by buses prompts the two of them to reconcile.
Honestly, I just thought that maybe I could put something good in the world for a change.
Number 8. Peter vs. Trisha Takanawa 88s. This episode sees Peter get fired from his job in the style of several Hollywood directors.
I've had enough of your nonsense. Here's Christoph Waltz to fire you in a weird accent.
You're fired?
Naturally, the Quentin Tarantino segment is full of over-the-top violence. After awakening from a coma, Peter returns home, dons a Ronald McDonald outfit, and grabs the Sword of Omens from Thundercats. Thus prepared, a Julesified Cleveland drives them to the brewery where he confronts his former boss Angela and her army of Trisha Takanawas.
Angela, we got business. Sorry, that's my car alarm.
What ensues is quite possibly the bloodiest fight in all of Family Guy, with ridiculous amounts of gore as Peter cuts through the identical Asian reporter fighters in quick succession and increasingly absurd ways. Like Dr. Hartman says earlier in the segment, it's unnecessary but cool.
No, this is better.
Number 7. Brian verbally obliterates Connie.
Here she is! Brian, I present to you your polished turd for the evening.
Meg Griffin seems to be the world's punching bag. Depressed over not having a date to the prom, Brian reluctantly agrees to go with her. Still, being an adult dog attending a high school prom leaves him feeling down on himself, and he gets a little, make that a lot, drunk. When Meg's biggest school tormentor, Connie D'Amico, mocks her in front of him, Brian's alcohol-loosened mouth delivers one of the show's most caustic verbal beatdowns.
Excuse me? Brian, let's just go.
No. Hang on, Meg. Hang on.
The gist of it is essentially that Connie's attractiveness won't last and that her promiscuity has given her low self-esteem, which she tries to compensate for by teasing Meg. Connie runs off in tears, and we don't blame her. That wasn't a burn, it was an entire wildfire.
Brian, that was amazing. No one's ever stood up for me like that.
Number 6. Joe versus Peter, Quagmire, and Cleveland. Following a leg transplant, Joe no longer requires the use of a wheelchair. Not only does he go do the things he always wanted to do, but he also grows distant from his friends and even decides to leave his pregnant wife Bonnie.
There's nothing to talk about. I've outgrown you, Bonnie. I need to spread my legs and fly.
Determined to get their friend back, Peter, Cleveland, and Quagmire opt to beat Joe up to put him back in a chair. While crippling someone is no way to establish friendship, it's somewhat moot, since all three are no match for Joe alone.
Come on, guys, get him!
His punches and kicks soon leave the trio barely able to stand themselves. The brutal beatdown is capped off by Bonnie trying and failing to do the job herself. Ouch.
Ah, my perfect ass!
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. I was aiming for your spine.
Number 5. Where's my money? Brian and Stewie have their arguments and fights, but they're ultimately the best of friends. At least when money's not involved.
Stewie, hey.
Hey there. So, it's been 24 hours. Got my money?
When Stewie becomes a bookie, Brian loses big on what should have been a surefire bet. Eager to collect, Stewie ambushes Brian in the bathroom, breaking a glass on his face and nearly drowning him. Brian's attempts to avoid paying only leads to another horrendous beating, getting kneecapped and set on fire. If he weren't a cartoon, he would easily be dead several times over. Stewie really leans into his evil side here.
Where's my money? Where's my money?
It's a vicious beating, yet it's so exaggerated that it's still one of the show's more memorable and funny scenes.
All right. I tell you what. You get one free revenge shot at me.
Number 4. Chris and Meg versus the school. After Brian makes a joke in bad taste on Twitter, he and the rest of the family quickly become the town pariahs. Chris and Meg are confronted by a sensitivity mob in the cafeteria, who insist they eat elsewhere.
It was just a joke.
There's no such thing as jokes anymore.
Yeah, we live in a post-joke world.
One of the students knocks off Chris's hat, prompting him to respond with a slow-mo tray to the face. What follows is a fight scene paying tribute to the movie Kingsman: The Secret Service. The action flows from one beat to the next as Meg and Chris beat or kill their classmates with ruthless efficiency. While it may be a parody, there are plenty of creative and original bits of choreography here. The two eldest Griffin children can certainly handle themselves. Number 3. Every chicken fight. Is this cheating? No. Why? Because we say so. Peter's long-running rivalry with a giant chicken named Ernie is a bizarre, yet awesome part of Family Guy. Every so often, the two of them will encounter one another, and the episode will turn into an action movie for a few minutes. Peter and the chicken cut a swath of destruction and mayhem wherever their battles take them, whether it's throughout Quahog to outer space or across time. Ernie always comes back, but the violence Peter dishes out always leaves us feeling like this time could be the last, even if we hope it isn't. Number 2. Lois Griffin versus Deirdre Jackson.
Let's go!
Lois takes up boxing to let out some of her understandable anger issues with Peter. Just when she's ready to retire, she's challenged by Deirdre Action Jackson. Jackson's strength proves overwhelming, and Lois is beaten bloody for 5 straight rounds. In the 6th, she's knocked down, but rises again to take on her foe with a little help from Peter singing Eye of the Tiger.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, okay.
Lois fights back and manages to give Jackson a walloping of her own. While not as bloody or spectacular as some of the other beastly moments in the series, this fight still has some well-executed moves and showcases Lois's determination and grit. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Meg's road rage. Peter and his buddy's antics push her over the edge.
Meg, that was awesome.
Stewie takes out Peter's sperm. He really doesn't want another sibling.
Do you know what today is? A bad day to be a sperm.
Stewie and Bertram's last battle. Time travel, Da Vinci, and an arrow through the head equals no more half-brother. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Peter Griffin versus Homer Simpson. While these two icons of animation get along well initially, they soon have a falling out over their favorite beers and a court decision over them.
You can't just slap a new label on something and call it your own? Well, maybe Duff should be in trouble for, not being that great. Duff is an icon!
Just when the Griffins are set to leave, the two of them decide to throw down. And what a throwdown it is! Their battle takes them all over Springfield with callbacks, jokes, and references to both shows. Their fight even sees them gain superpowers and get launched into space. Although Peter appears to win the fight, Homer is fine and the two of them make up. The cartoon violence is at its most hilariously savage. And while Comic Book Guy may not have a favorable opinion of the fight, we feel like it shows Peter at his most ferocious.
Worst chicken fight ever.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.